Hey guys, I feel like this is really bright. Hi, welcome back. This week I'm gonna make a permaid. That's not true. I made this a long time ago. It's a... This week, watch this. Hey guys, welcome back to me making whatever I want. Today I'm making a permaid automata. I made this out of XLS X. It's X. It's pink foam. It's insulation foam. It's pink insulation foam. And let's see what we can do. Anyways, I use my Proxon cutter to cut stuff up. I'm probably going to talk about the Proxon a lot because I really like the Proxon. How many times can I say that? Proxon. I started with this prototype and I didn't know it was going to be a prototype. It's just I thought I knew what I was doing. And as it turns out, the more I progressed, the more I realized I had no idea what I was doing. My design was terrible. The only thing I used from that is the shape of the permaid, the Pusheen permaid. I'm pretty sure I got that little wooden base out of the box from our TV that we bought. It was just part of the packing material, and there was like 8 of them in there. I was like, oh yeah, I'm using that. Gotta get exact center. You know it's gotta be perfect. This project was all about precision. Okay, this thing was clean as a whistle. Trust me. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was thinking like, oh wow, that goes around. So I started cutting out a lot of circles. I cut out a lot of different stuff, and it was just kind of like having these thoughts about what to do. And it was right about this point that I just went for it. But yeah, definitely in this prototype. I actually think I made 2 prototypes because I made a prototype where I was like making one and I'm like, I'm prototyping right now. And then I made it and it worked. And then I was like, well, let me go ahead and actually make this thing now. So that's what this is. But this ended up like being a total piece of crap and didn't even work. A lot of this design went into the final product. It didn't take long to realize that the size that I had wasn't going to move. The ratio of the size of the cams. The size of the cams versus the size of the cams.
Pork chop sandwiches!
I started to realize the size of the cams were too small and my movement was just not going to be as exaggerated as I want. So I started over here. And the distance that the follower actually moved, it was just minuscule. It was nothing. So it was gonna look more like the permaid was just like kind of shivering, not really swimming, which was what I was going for. This time I designed the actual base and how it's gonna operate a little better in Procreate. Printed that out, measured it, wrote all the measurements on the paper there, and started cutting pieces out. This material is pretty good for certain mechanisms with Automata. I mean, I'm sure you get away with anything really, but I don't know. The smaller it is, like it doesn't have any body like weight to it. So as far as like, it's hard to explain, but I like the idea of using this to build up forms fast and like to be the base of things or like kind of the container even. But I feel for like all the inner workings of it, there's probably better materials, but still this works. I mean, it's like other than the wood dowels, it's 100% XL, XR, the X.
What?
I can never remember what it's called. This is a jig I made to drill holes with a pencil as straight as possible through the thickness of the foam. And in the end, I'm not even really sure like how important that was. Like seriously, all the time I wasted like measuring and trying to get all this precise. It was definitely worth it, I would say. But some of the stuff, it's like, come on. I mean, just poke your pencil through the foam. It's fine. I'd like to make some more automata out of this stuff. I think it'd be cool to do some wall hangings. I don't know why I have like a circus theme running around my head. I've been listening to a lot of Gregory Alan Isakov or Isakov, depending on whether or not you know what you're talking about. Anyways, I have these ideas of these like circus scenes from some of his songs. He references a lot of that, like carnival circus. I don't know what I guess I need to just like sort it out. I don't know what I'm talking about. Dude, the Proxon is 100%. If you work with this phone, I 1000% recommend a Proxon hot wire cutter because it just makes the job so much easier. And like, there's the jigs, some more jigs and stuff that I would like to get that make it even easier and like more efficient to be really precise. Like, I definitely need to solve the fence issue, the fence that comes with it. I would say that's my only complaint about this machine is actually the fence. Is like, it's good to, if that's all you got, it's good, it's fine, like you can get the job done. I mean, meanwhile here I am complaining about my Proxon problems, and you know, there's people who are cutting this stuff with a razor blade. Yeah, so it's coming together. It's all shaping up to be like what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's kind of like narrow for a treasure chest, but I don't know. Maybe all treasure chests aren't created equally. I mean, I'm sure that's the case. I've recorded this voiceover like 5 or 6 different takes, and I've kept every take, and I'm just gonna pick and choose between them. So, like, I feel a little more comfortable, like on this last one, which is number 6 actually. I feel a little more at ease. So I don't know what the other ones are gonna sound like. So it's gonna be a mix of, you know, like who knows, like me and yeah. Also, bear with me on this mic because I'm still trying to figure it out. This clip doesn't belong here. So here I pinned these to the top of this block that I measured out the size of I wanted it, thickness and the length. And then I cut this one side out, had little X games. And then once this is cut out, you just put it all back together and put the pattern on the top, and then you get the other profile. I find that the wood glue, when it's dry, it actually cuts with the hot wire like pretty good. It will get hung up on it if there's like some thicker spots of it. It'll kind of snag, so you can't really, you'll see that here actually. You can't really expect any amount of precision with it. There you go. But it does work through it. It's great. And then you just sand it and shape it out a little more. And here's a mixture of Mod Podge and black acrylic paint that I used to base everything with. All this whole process is just like the other video. If you haven't seen that yet, it's like, check that out right there. Yeah, this is the same process really, except, you know, just a little bit more experience. So I was just really, I was on fire. Oh, the straws too. I forgot the straws. I use the straws, so that's not wood or foam. I don't know what I was doing here.
What?
There I made a little keyway to make sure that wasn't just going to spin around freely. I sanded this thing. You remember it was all blocked out. After I sanded it, I added wood filler. This whole thing's going to be totally enclosed by the time it's all done, so you only get one shot. You know, do not miss your chance to. Guys, I need to apologize about how little footage I got of me painting this thing, because I just kind of stopped recording and I don't know why, and I'm not going to be so lazy in the future. And if you guys just give me a chance, just give me one more chance next week, let me come back, let me record every step of the way. You know, yeah, is this 9 hours of footage down to 15 minutes? Of course. Are we missing things? No, we're not. Really, you're seeing a little bit of everything except for when I just wasn't recording. Like, I don't know why I did that to you, and I apologize. I want to make more Automata, but then every time I like really start to think about actually making one, I can never figure out what I'm gonna make. Like, I do have a couple little ideas, but they're just as simple as this, and I would like to expand into like some more complicated mechanisms and function. Here I am gluing in the keyways. But yeah, drop your ideas in the comments if there's any other type of automata. It does not have to be Pusheen. Like, I actually prefer that it's not Pusheen. Nothing against Pusheen. I love you, Pusheen. Here's me making a little flower petals or collar, her collar, making her little flower petal collar. I don't know if they're actually flower petals. They're probably not at all, but that's what they look like to me. I didn't record this either, but you can see on that little pattern right there, the little scales on the side. I ended up cutting those real thin out of the foam and gluing it on the side, and then just paint it over them. Like, I didn't really even highlight them at all. I'd like to get an airbrush. I'm gonna get an airbrush. I'm gonna learn to paint things even better. I feel like this kind of thing could be so much cleaner if it was painted with an airbrush and like no brush strokes, no like heavy globs of paint and stuff. You know, you put all this detail in it and then you use a big brush full of paint, and like, I probably just don't know what I'm doing is the problem. But either way, an airbrush might help solve that problem sooner. This was a very scary part. Just not really scary. I wasn't like actually scared, but
sniff, bork,
this is about all the painting footage I got. I know. I'll be better. I'll be better. And I cleared it with a polyacrylic clear. Let's see it in action. There it is, under the sea, guys. Wow, the ocean. I love it. I can hear the waves crashing. See you next week. I already got something planned. So, can he do 3 weeks in a row? We'll see.